Hello and welcome to Youth in Sports, where every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. we feature special guests from near and far. The program is sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, providing certified athletic trainers to more than 30 area high schools and colleges. First State Orthopedics, the team taking care of Delaware with a commitment to excellence. And Wilmington University, where Youth in Sports is produced by the College of Technology's students and faculty. And now, from the studio at President Jack Barcelona's Wilmington University, your hosts for Youth in Sports, AOSSM Mr. Sports Medicine 2012, Dr. Michael Axe, UD and St. Elizabeth's own Dr. Joseph Strait, and co-founder of Youth in Sports, Mr. Walter Laudine.
Good evening. Welcome to Youth in Sports. I'm Walter Laudine.
I'm Dr. Joseph Strait.
And I'm Dr. Mike Wax. And tonight's show, we have the Mount Pleasant Elementary School, and they're going to talk about the Brandywine Fitness Expo?
Fitness Festival.
Fitness Festival. But we're fortunate enough tonight to have our Lieutenant Governor, Matt Dent, on, and he has been a big advocate for just about everything youth, from everything from health care, physical therapy, autism, to fitness. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for coming down and joining us on our maiden voyage of this new event, the fitness, what did we call it? Fitness
Festival.
Festival. The two F's. Fitness Festival. I should be good with the rest of the night.
Free fitness fun for everyone. That's what.
Free fitness fun for everyone. Jeez, that's an alliteration and a half, Walter. Can you do that one?
And it's put on by Brandywine.
Free fitness fun for everyone.
There we go.
And what is free fitness fun for everyone?
We've just got a bunch of programs coming in from all over the state. A lot of associations. We've got teams coming in. Just really showing kids that there are other things outside of school, other programs and venues that they can get incorporated in the summertime. So
I'm going to date myself, but you remember when they had the presidential fitness program?
Mm-hmm.
They still have
remember
that?
those.
Is that still, that's still with us?
Yeah, I'll introduce our other front guest. That's Matt Farina, who's one of the PE teachers, and his principal, Joyce Scrobot, also from Mount Pleasant Elementary. Thank you all for coming. We'll talk about our younger guests here in a little bit. Walter, what questions do you have for Lieutenant Governor Dent? Anything pressing on youth and fitness?
Well, no, I think it's a great thing. I always believe that in that realm of fitness that martial arts should be incorporated into a school program. I think with respect and with physical fitness. And even what we started to do here on the show is have yoga, which I think is great. In fact, I have a friend that owns a yoga studio. It's a great program. I haven't participated, but I think it's a great idea. And I think those kind of things...
Your friends tell you it's a good thing.
And they look great, too. But the thing is, with yoga and martial arts, I think that incorporates a lot in the physical fitness realm. Have you thought about any of that?
Well, I think you're seeing a lot of innovation in the schools, and I think there may even be a couple who are experimenting with yoga and martial arts. Some of them are doing dance.
That's another one, yeah.
Yeah, and what you're seeing also is they're breaking it up into smaller periods of time in many cases. I mean, the challenge, part of the challenge is that there's so much that people are trying to get done during the school day, and we're trying to do so much through the schools, including all the academic things we're trying to teach and all the other things that we try to communicate to kids through schools, that it's important to keep that fitness part of it incorporated. And one of the ways that some schools are trying to do it is by breaking it up. And I visit schools all the time, and I see schools where the kids are doing, in fact, I think it may have even been in one or two of the classrooms at Mount Pleasant, where kids were doing some stretching and kind of moving around even during the first 5 minutes of class, because it helps get them focused. It helps them kind of get the wiggles out a little bit in terms of paying attention in the classroom, and also it gives you just some minutes during the day when they're doing something active.
Mike and I had a what do you call it on?
Personal trainer?
No, the one that did all the stretching, where he was unbelievable.
He was a yoga instructor.
No, he was a chiropractor.
Okay.
Remember 20 years ago?
That probably doesn't fit into this realm as much as what, Lieutenant Governor, where do you think fitness fits into the academic fold? You know what, at West Point they make every one of their cadets either play a sport or recreate for at least an hour after school, because they felt that it helps them focus. With our race to the top, Governor Markell's race to the top, sometimes with not enough time for PE because you're so busy with math and science and English, how do we blend that? What do you think is the best way to get that incorporated?
It is a challenge, and beyond just the academics, there's pretty good evidence that, as we were talking about, that there's a real positive impact on kids' school performance from being active during the school day. There's also pretty good evidence that kids having an opportunity to be involved in the arts and music, that those things also help kids perform better, focus when they're in class, and also, you know, more and more we're realizing how important it is that kids be able to think creatively, not just be able to fill in bubbles on tests, but also be able to think outside the box, and some of these other things like the arts help with that. So it really is, it's tough to get it all in during the limited numbers of hours you have in the day. So A, you have to be creative, and B, you know, the types of things that Mount Pleasant is doing to try to make sure that kids and their parents know what's available outside the traditional school day, and sort of expanding the amount of time that you have when you can provide opportunities for kids to be active. That's a huge plus as well.
Well, I see that even with like after-school programs, and I think, and I don't remember. I'm 36, but I don't remember having after-school programs. I remember your parents picked you up, you went home, and you did stuff at home. But now, lots of after-school programs. I mean, my daughter will be going to first grade this year, and we're finding out that there's before school care, there's after school care, and there's programs that are YMCA's involved in some of the schools. So can you give us kind of how that has come into?
And we want to do more of that. I mean, this has been a very tight, it's been a number of very tight budget years for the state, but one of the very small number of new programs that we've been proposing this year is about a $2.5 million expansion in after-school programs for schools that they can apply for to do new and creative things based in the school primarily, where kids can have the opportunity to stay beyond the regular school day. Some of it may involve fitness or include fitness. Some of it may be help with homework. Or, I mean, we're finding that with a lot of kids, if we can keep our arms around them a little bit longer, and again sort of expand the length of that school day, that it really benefits them a lot. But we expect that some of the proposals that we're going to see, if that money gets approved, will have a fitness component, because if you're keeping kids after school or you're bringing them in before school, it's a long day for kids, especially elementary school age kids, and you do want to give them the opportunity to you know, to be active so they can stay focused.
But that also helps you guys get through the academic part through the middle of the day, so the after-school care can actually bring in, you know, we look at like Play 60 with the NFL and giving them hours. I mean, I know that I pick my daughter up probably an hour to 2 hours after she's dismissed from school, in a sense, and it gives her 60 minutes to exercise and play and do things. I think these programs are excellent.
As a former realtor, I know that, you know, especially in the lower grades, you got all these latchkey kids, because when you sell a house now, it's two incomes. And it used to be it wasn't. The mom or the dad stayed home and one of the parents worked. Now it's both. So now you have a whole bunch of latchkey kids as younger kids. So yeah, they need to be able to do something. And on their own, are they going to exercise? Like, I'm from New York, we played in the parks all day. That doesn't happen here.
Well, I think it's also been a change in generation as well.
Well, it has, yeah.
And you're right, you do have more working, two parent working families, and more people have to do that to be able to pay the bills, and that does put more pressure on the schools to try to do for kids what, you know, when you and I were kids, you know, our parents might have been able to do for us when the economy was different.
I know that you're a big advocate for the Boys and Girls Clubs, as am I. Anyone who's ever watched the show knows that I'm on their corporate board, and I believe very much in what they provide, that after-school care. How do we integrate what we offer at the Boys and Girls Club from 3 to 9 into the elementary school curriculum? And how do we offset some of the expenses? You know, when we formulate programs, someone has to run the programs, and they're usually the teachers. And the teachers are working a longer work day, much like the coaches are, and they get compensated, and that's why programs cost money. But most of us would love to have our students, our children, in a wholesome environment with a coach there, as opposed to playing on the streets and all the things that can happen in the parks. But I know you've been creative with some of the Boys and Girls Club programs. How do you foresee that meshing working?
Well, they're going to be eligible for this expansion in after-school programs. Both schools and nonprofits can apply for it.
Being the Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club and other similar nonprofit organizations. And our hope is that we're going to be able to encourage them to work closely with the schools so that they can form, they already have a number of partnerships with the schools, but where they can form some even closer partnerships. One of the challenges with after-school programs outside of the school is just transportation. And, you know, kids being able to get from a school to a place where they can have a secure, you know, really robust after-school environment. So we're hoping that we can make better use of the school facilities that we have and encourage some of our nonprofits to actually set up programs that are in the school, so you can have kids staying after the school hours are over and getting the advantage of some of those programs.
Can I interject something here about
please.
Mount Pleasant Elementary? About 4 years ago when we became a K-5 school, previously we were a K-3 school, so we had a group of staff members at Mount Pleasant Elementary who really saw sports as a way to engage students in school. So they started the elementary basketball league, and it was strictly the teachers volunteered, and Mr. Farino was a referee. We did the games on Saturday mornings. From 9 to 1, and there was a series of games. We started out with 3 teams, and this past year, every single elementary school in Brandywine School District participated. And the parents come out. It was a great way for to bring the schools together as a community, and we really hit on something in terms of engaging students in school. And you can teach them so many life skills such as self-discipline, cooperation, teamwork through sports, and we really saw that translate into the academics and improved academics for our students because they learn those things.
As a principal, you know, one of the penalties you get when you don't get good grades is you get put off the team.
Which is counterproductive.
Sometimes that does seem to be counterproductive. You're beginning with a young group of athletes. Certainly you're teaching the importance of staying eligible because we have in the colleges, it's called Prop 48. If you're not academically sound enough, you have to go to school, but you can't play. You get to practice, but you can't play in the games. Sounds like a pretty big penalty. Where do you think education is going to go forward with that to allow that not to be an issue, that you're not going to penalize a student athlete for? How do we make that better? How do we make it not a penalty? How do we start it in elementary school so that they understand that they don't need to be in that circumstance?
Are you talking
It's about really
elementary?
setting the expectation.
I'm talking about elementary because if you start in elementary with the attitude, then it carries on to the middle school and the upper schools. And I think that it's
You want it to carry on all the way?
I would like the program to begin in the elementary school with the athletes understanding that there's a penalty to be paid if you.
Right.
They oftentimes
I
don't know.
misunderstood.
And that's the education piece of it, and the coaches set that expectation from the very beginning. And these kids want to play, so they will, and then they work with their teachers, and if kids are struggling, there's teachers who volunteer to tutor them, so to keep up their academics. But we do set the expectation that academics and behavior, will keep you on the team.
I wonder if you look at that, if you look at the kids that participated, if they did better or if they, were able to move on.
And I can tell you, yes, we have looked at that, when the report cards come out. And, they're very anxious to show their coaches, yeah, we did it. We did it while playing ball. So it's, like I said, a great way to engage kids in school.
Less than a minute left. Mike, do you have anything about that?
Well, no, my thoughts are that when do they, so you've begun the program. You tell them that, have you had any individuals, what do you set as your standard for them to be able to continue to participate? Well,
they have to meet, their, they don't have to necessarily make the honor roll, but they have to meet the basic, requirements for proficiency, on their report card. Okay, so we're talking about C's or better, that our expectation is going to be C's or better. On that note, we're going to go to a break and come back with Mount Pleasant Elementary School and their fitness festival for fun right after this.
I will keep dancing on point, even if it hurts.
My arm is killing me. I don't know if I can pitch another ball. But I'll just play through the pain anyway.
I have to do the big stunts. To look better than the other cheerleaders, our tosses are bigger.
My elbow really aches, but I've got to keep practicing.
Don't tell them it hurts. They'll take you out of the game if you do. I have to push harder if I'm going to get a scholarship. I'm feeling dizzy, but I don't want to tell anyone.
Everyone's counting on me. I can't rest now.
Nearly 50% of all sports injuries sustained by middle and high school students are from overuse. Don't play through the pain. See your healthcare provider and follow their instructions for rest and recovery. Take the pledge. Become an advocate for sports safety. Visit stopsportsinjuries.org.
Go team!
Hi, we're back on Youth in Sports, and we're talking to Mount Pleasant Fitness Festival. And we want to talk to Matt Farina. I wanted to ask him, and Matt, what's your title?
I'm the PE teacher, physical education teacher at Mount Pleasant.
Okay, so this is right in your ballpark. What are the events of the physical festival?
Well, for the fitness festival, it really took place about 6 months ago. I kind of just was looking at things, something else to incorporate in my school. It's my 6th year teaching now, and I wanted to get bigger and better and build our program even more. And I kind of looked at what I was doing curriculum-wise, and I think to now my 6th year in a teacher, and we talked about innovation and things that are going to be at the festival, like you talked about Zumba earlier and dance classes, karate's going to be there, CrossFit Riverfront's going to be there, all different organizations from around our area and our state that kids could get involved in. So like I said, about 6 months ago I started thinking, like, many of these kids just don't know and don't have the opportunities, and they don't know what's out there. You know, they all play basketball after school, or, you know, now we're in the video game era where it's tough to get these kids out. But if they have the knowledge and the programs that they can succeed in, and they, you know, at this fitness festival, they're going to have tons of pamphlets, flyers, posters, things to take home with them and to spark some interest. So when it becomes summertime and it's after school programs and things of that nature, that they have something else to do. And they say, hey mom, hey dad, like I really want to try this CrossFit Riverfront for kids. And it's just all exercises that the kids will enjoy. Or I have a First Tee Delaware that's coming that's been amazing. And maybe that's their escape into the golf, you know, and just a lot of my students that just don't have the opportunities that I kind of just wanted to provide for them. And then when I approached Joyce about it, we went with this fitness festival. That was kind of our idea and like our baby, and it just started to grow and grow and grow. And the more people I, you know, talked to and communicated with, First Aid Orthopedics jumped on board, and, you know, Wilmington Blue Rocks, Swoop, the mascot from the Eagles, coming. We have Zumba, like I said, just all these different programs that wanted to be a part of it and wanted to help our kids and help our, you know, generation of now get into these athletics and sports and other endeavors outside of school.
I always like to know, how did you get into being into fitness? Because I just recently started to try to, sorry to say this, take care of myself in the long run, but I started to try to watch what I eat and do things. But how did you get into this being... And
this is 50 pounds lighter. This is the new Dr. Joe Straight.
Well, believe it or not, like my first time ever being on this show, I always swore that it was going to be because I was an athlete. I played, you know, 3 sports at Sally's. I went on to play college baseball. I always swore...
At UMBC.
I did. I went to UMBC, Coach Shank Shea, Coach Muma. But I always swore that that would be the place that I would ever be on this show. And then I got to a point where I realized, all right, I'm not that good. You know, there's so many people in this world that think that they're that good. And I got to a place, I was a great college player, but I wasn't that good, you know? So I did well enough.
Nah, we just missed you, buddy. We do that occasionally.
That's not the thing about youth in sports. It's not. It's somebody like you. It's a quality person. Not.
Thank you.
We just missed it.
Yeah,
we just missed
exactly right. It's not about the all-star.
It's Mike's fault because he was doing the schedule.
I was doing all the scheduling.
I always had Sally's on.
That's absolutely right.
But so I got to a point where I realized, okay, now I've got to figure out my life. You know, I've got all these things that I love and enjoy. I love kids. I love sports. Let's put them together. Let's figure out how to make this work. My family, believe it or not, my mom's a phys ed teacher. Her mother was a phys ed teacher, and my mom's sister was a phys ed teacher. So it kind of runs in our blood, runs in our family. I'm sorry.
Are you a parent yet?
I'm not a parent yet. Just got married this summer of my beautiful wife.
Oh, okay.
Put that in there.
Let's get him some kids. I mean, come on.
Yeah, sure. But again, so once I graduated and I realized, all right, now I got to figure out what to do. I had a season left of baseball. I transferred then to Westchester because it's such a great education program. And then I took phys ed and really concentrated hard on the academics, and that, you know, did my student teaching in Delaware, got a job right away. Joyce hired me right away. And
it's really nice to see someone that's so
passionate,
lively, and passionate about their job, especially with young kids.
I often tell people I have the best job in the world, and I to this day I'll say that all the time.
I would invite you to. He has a phys ed class like nothing I've ever seen.
How so?
I said I would like to exercise more if I had a phys ed teacher like Matt, you know. But he truly
what makes him different?
He is energetic, enthusiastic, positive. He's in it for the kids, no other reason. But he lives his passion every day, 6 classes a day throughout the entire school year. And everybody's favorite teacher is Mr. Farina.
Oh, you can see that. So,
but like I say, I would invite you to come in and watch his phys ed classes because it is absolutely, it gives me goosebumps sometimes. You know, when I'm going in there to observe a teacher, it gives me goosebumps to watch him conduct a phys ed class.
Matt, what do you do with the kid, whether boy or girl, that says, you know, I'm really not into, I really don't want, you know, I'm a student, you know, or I'm an artist, or I'm a this or that. Really don't want to get into, you know, getting sweaty or doing.
Sure.
What do you do with that?
That's
student?
kind of what I take pride in, believe it or not. It happens on a regular basis. I mean,
especially with the video game circuit.
Exactly.
You know,
I take pride in taking outside of the gym first. So I'll go to their classroom. I'll take the student out. I ask everyone for their dance schedules, their baseball schedules, their recital schedules, and my wife and I do tend to go to these things, but I just try and take it outside of my classroom first, and I get interested in their life, and I figure out who they are as a person, and how I can bring that into phys ed.
When did they start, though? What grade?
Not liking.
No. Start with your class. When do you start?
Kindergarten. I'm kindergarten through 5th.
Okay,
Really?
so you get them early.
Is that
I get them all.
normal?
Yes.
817 students on a.
And they don't go to recess. They don't have a recess.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yep.
But is that normal? Is that
40 minutes of
for kindergarten
physical education.
in every school?
Yeah.
I mean, the state
Yep.
kindergarten
Yep.
starts.
Yep.
Your kid?
I
Kindergarten?
think they go outside. Yeah,
When
I don't know if it's
when we had a
considered
half-day
PE or-
program, kindergarten students didn't go to the related arts, art, music, library, but once we went to full-day kindergarten, they have the full complement.
When's recess and when's PE?
Once a week. Yep. Wish we
Once
could
a
do more,
week.
but that's
Once a week is PE?
Yep.
Okay, and the rest of the time it's recess?
Recess every
Yep.
day, 30 minutes.
Okay.
So they're outside.
either or.
Right. Okay. Okay. Do you? Would you like to have more?
Absolutely, absolutely.
How much would you? What would you think is a good start to go? Just
we
two?
used to in the Brandywine School District. This is before my time, but they used to have it twice a week, and I think that's
Right.
absolutely. I mean, even if we drop down the time a little bit for one of my classes, I see each class for 45 minutes a week. But even if we could drop that down, maybe even to 40, 35, but I can get them twice a week, that guarantees me those 2 times that they're definitely moving.
I'm thinking, Mike. When you went to high school or junior high, I'm thinking we had it once a day.
Well,
Did you?
we did for certain time frames.
Yeah, high school.
But getting back to it, can you coordinate recess to do activities that the PE?
That's the exact question I had.
We have.
Can you
We've
do
gotten
PE
programs
during
in,
recess?
and
We
like
have-
3-4 years ago, I painted a kickball field on the field. I painted basketball courts. I did bases, 4 squares, just to get them doing other things than just letting them run free. So.
And our PTA has incorporated a program this year. Several years ago, our PTA put a walking path around the soccer
Oh, I
field.
like
We
that.
have a
Yeah,
rather
so
large field to get kids moving. And
Everybody can walk.
And then this year they started with Walking Wednesdays, and they were this year's PTA was awarded a $5,000 Lowe's grant, and their Lowe's is creating stanchions that we're going to put around the walking path so that students can read stories. It's called Fluency Walk, and they can read stories or read fun facts or something. And so our students in the fall, they walked, their goal was to walk a marathon, 26.2 miles, and they got a sticker outside of their classroom door if they met that. Well, now we're walking the length of the state of Delaware, and yesterday was our kickoff for the spring, and most of our classes walked past Wilmington, Delaware with 24 laps, and even exceeded and are on their way to Bear, Delaware. So we're going to put a big map in the school, and the PTA was out there.
Each of the students combined, or
at
each
recess,
student?
during recess.
Each student?
Each student, yes,
has walked
from
that
every
distance?
class, yes.
Now, each student has walked that distance.
That was in the fall.
Not
they
the
did
combined students that everybody walked a quarter of a mile and you put them all together and that.
They walk as a class, yes, and they tally how many laps they walk, and this is every Wednesday. Plus, it's also incorporating reading and literacy, and this was the idea. It's called Fluency and Fun for All, and they've done a great job, and they've really hooked the kids on, walking every single Wednesday. So from now till the end of the year.
Did you have Mr. Den there walking yet with you?
He's coming. He's coming. Yes, he is coming.
Sounds like a photo out there, Mr. Lieutenant
I forget
Governor.
the day, but the PTA told me last night that he is going to join us for a walk.
People should visit the school. I don't want to get more, to burden Mrs. Scrobot more than she already is. But I've been to the school a couple of times, and there are some really extraordinary things going on at Mount Pleasant. I mean, the PE being part of it, but we keep track of how kids are doing in all the schools. And Mount Pleasant's kids, they're one of a handful of schools where kids' test scores have come up from the beginning of the school year to the end of the school year across the board, which is great, and also we separate out every single different subgroup of kids that we're concerned about. Every subgroup, the scores are coming up, so it's not like any kids are getting left behind. They're doing it across the board. They have the only gifted and talented, all-day gifted and talented program inside the school of, I think, any elementary school in the state for kids who can do academic work that's a year or so or 2 years ahead of what they might otherwise be doing. So there's a ton of good things going on in that school, and again, it's benefiting all the kids, just at every level, at every grade. However you separate it out, kids are really improving over the course of the school year there. It's really nice to see.
Lieutenant Governor Den, let me ask you a question, and I want to ask Matt a question. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I mean, in an era...
He's very good at that, by the way.
In an era... We only have 2 minutes
left
left.
after the first
You
segment.
can think about it for the next segment. In an era where they've banned dodgeball, you've got parents that are, completely flaky in some instances. What about the fact that in today's world, litigious society, how do you handle that? I mean, you got to be protective of your teachers. How do you make sure that everything they do is on, is okay? Who do you check with?
I think the teachers, I have 2 second graders in 2 different schools, and just from watching what they do, and I've been in a number of PE classes, and I've been in a bunch of recesses, and my sense is that the teachers and the PE instructors feel their way through it pretty well. I mean, it seems like there's an awful lot of common sense involved.
Common sense being a key issue.
Yeah, it seems like
I
pretty well
can't understand why that would become an issue with the things that they're doing. Mr. Farina's doing things in his classroom, and then these activities. I mean, it's phenomenal that they're getting kids out walking and doing things that it's really hard to get hurt. If you can't walk in a safe environment, you're probably unable to be fit at all.
You know what I'm talking about, though. And Matt, let me ask you a question. What are the events on the fitness festival? Like, is there an events like running?
Yeah, he spoke
walking?
about that Zumba.
Zumba?
There's going to be a whole bunch of outside organizations.
Bunch of outside stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got, at last check, we had over 35 different organizations in the state of Delaware and national.
And all the
UST's
parents are good with all this?
We have phenomenal parental involvement.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
And at Bellevue State Park, which is right across the street from the
Which is a
school, they're
beautiful
also
place,
having a kids' day from 10 to
Are they riding
12 that
horses over
day.
there, too?
So, and we formed a partnership, and some of our parents went over and build a gate and a path so that our kids could walk over to the, Bellevue Park and take advantage of that wonderful,
That's great. That's great. That answers my question.
We're down to 3 seconds. We're going to go to a break and back right after this.
All right.
What does opportunity mean to you? At Wilmington University, it means providing a personalized educational experience where students learn anywhere at any time. Wilmington University provides a variety of ways to complete your degree. Choose the flexibility of online learning, or attend classes during the day, in the evening, or on weekends at locations throughout the region. It's your degree. Choose how you earn it. Personalized education, affordable tuition. That's the difference at Wilmington University. What does opportunity mean to you? At Wilmington University, it means finding an innovative degree program that fits your goals and prepares you for a successful career. It means finding a school that fits your life. We know the importance of providing individual attention, affordable tuition, and unparalleled flexibility and service. Because at Wilmington University, it's not about meeting your expectations, it's about exceeding them. Personalized education, affordable tuition, that's the difference at Wilmington University.
Welcome back to Youth in Sports. We're here today with Mount Pleasant Elementary School as well as the Fitness Festival. And as we were leaving, we were talking with Matt. And my biggest question, I kind of brought it up off camera before we get to all the students, is the need for education on diet and nutrition in the grade schools? And is there set time? And is it done in PE? And is it done at recess? And who's involved in that?
It's an ongoing battle. It's a tough battle because when I see them for my PE classes, I want to get them moving. I got to get them active. I mean, right when they walk in the door, they go right to their squads. I put them in their teams that they select, and they do their partner run right off the bat, and that guarantees me that they're going to get that 2-3 minutes of running every single day. Where the health comes in, that's the part where it's it takes away from the physical activity and. It's
but you got to be careful too. You don't want to offend, and
Sure.
It is done by the school a little bit with the meals that they're given as well, and then the school nurse.
And the school nurse, we incorporate it like at the kindergarten level. They talk about the 5 senses, and taste is one of those. So they incorporate it where they can. In 3rd grade, they do the human body unit. So the nurse will go to the classroom and do. Lessons on the food pyramid. So we try to incorporate.
Are the students weighed at all? Do they actually get weighed once a year?
We actually do for our state-mandated fitnessgram. I'm the only one that has that knowledge before I send it into our state. It's for a fitnessgram.
How you been doing?
Interesting enough, I mean, it shows.
With all you're doing, you would think that you would be showing. That
it is, and it definitely does. It does. It's really rewarding for myself to see at the very beginning of the year when I get someone that's in my class and I test them on their pacer test, their curl-ups, all those things. And they get that score, and it's so neat to then compute that score later in the year, and we look back and we say, wow, I mean, almost all of my students are making some sort of improvement.
So who's this young lady on your left?
Brianne Lasarica. This is Miles Eady. This is Miss Nigeria McCall and Mr. Devin Dill-Smith.
All right, well, I want to know about these curl-ups then. So we're going to Miles. Miles, you made a little chuckle there. What's up with curl-ups? What are they?
It was about the where you have to do a whole bunch of sit-ups about this lesson fitnessgram, and they would tell you go up and down and up and down.
Yep.
So what do you like most about the PE class that Mr. Matt here takes?
All those games, the games that we get to play, and like how we get to run every day. And
are you fast?
Yes.
What kind of games? Is it kickball? Is it?
There's this game that we have like a really, really big soccer ball, and Mr. Farina, he hits the ball, and then the rest of us have to try to keep it in the circle, and try not to let the ball get out of the circle.
They like that one. I stand in the center of the center circle of a basketball court and have all the kids hold hands and they let their hands go, and then I'm in the center and I've got to try and get it out of their circle somehow. So I'll go to one side, go to the other, and I'll try and get it. I'll go between my legs around them, and they've always got to be ready. And we'll get it out sometimes. Sometimes we'll keep it in, but they're getting better as they get older in their years. As they get close to 4th and 5th graders, I can't win anymore. So
well, that gets us. What grade are you in?
I'm in 5th.
5th grade.
Okay, the grade. When's the grade where you can start, the age when you can start using weights?
Anytime they're ready.
Anytime they're ready, which means they have to be able to do a certain amount of push-ups, right?
No. No? Anytime they're ready. They just have to have good form and be mature enough, and we recommend that they don't use anything heavier than body weight. They don't put anything above their heads that are more than body weight, and then they don't put anything on their back that's more than body weight.
Do you incorporate weights at all?
We don't.
Because I would think that would be
unfortunately, that's like a price.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
cost,
so
right,
expensive. I mean, we've talked a little bit about grants recently, even just to put it out there and try and secure something for a school. I mean, every dream in every elementary school would be have their own fitness room and fitness program, and it's just,
there are a few, but
yeah,
not many.
absolutely. That's the dream. Though,
I did buy him a Wii for this year. That was
Which it sounds crazy, but the Nintendo Wii is something we brought in 2 years ago. We brought a projector screen into the gym. We put on one dance huge projector on the thing, and then everybody stays in their squads, and you get everybody doing their movements right there in their squads. It's a workout, and it's great, and it's interactive. It gives you the whole video game, bring it into the class, and they have a blast with it, so it's fun.
And he does it smart. He has a warm-up for every class and a cool-down, so,
And stretching?
Yeah, we do
exactly.
stretching. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Good way to keep them, sound without having that overuse injuries.
Absolutely.
You can avoid all that stuff. So, Brianne, you said you're in 4th grade? Is that what I heard? What's your favorite part about gym class, physical education?
My favorite part about gym is like hanging out with people in gym and having fun.
You have a cool
being
voice.
active.
You might want to be like an announcer or something. Keep talking.
What's your favorite sport to play, though? What's game? What's your favorite game?
My favorite game is Oscar's Trash Can.
Okay, now do you ever take that can? Did you teach your brothers and sisters at home to play?
Actually, I don't have any brothers, but I do have sisters. They go to the same school, so they know how to play it.
They do? Do you get mom and dad playing?
No.
No? Maybe you should.
Anybody ever tell you you had a really cool voice?
No.
You might want to think about radio, TV, something. You got a cool voice.
We haven't gotten to all of you guys, but outside of school, are you guys active in any activities like dancing or swimming or any classes? We'll start with.
I ride my bike with my sisters. Sometimes I ride my bike around the neighborhood.
Good, so you do something outside of school, and that's great too. You incorporate all the stuff you learn, and,
How about
you
you,
look
Miles?
physical fit.
I play baseball and soccer and yeah, sometimes I like to ride my bike.
What's your favorite sport, Miles?
Still trying to decide over soccer and baseball.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, and because you're fast, you really like soccer, right? Yeah. Okay.
Nazira?
Well, in my neighborhood, me and my friends, we like to do dance battles, boys against girls.
Do what?
Dance battles, boys against girls.
Yeah, that's where the we comes in.
What's
Dancing with the Stars.
Well, we usually go around the corner. We use our yards, and we use a phone to do a dance battle, and we practice, and we go against each other. And we'll ask one of our neighbors or somebody that we know
to be the judge. This sounds like dance horse. Yeah. So they have to be able to do the same move you can do, and if they can't do it, they lose. Yes?
No, we don't go like.
It's not move for move, it's against each other.
I'm assuming
Who does
this
best?
isn't ballroom dancing, right? No, okay.
That would be correct.
How about Devin?
I play
We haven't
football.
heard from him. You're a football player?
Yes.
Who do you play for?
Claymont.
Claymont.
Do you play against the Brandywine Warriors?
No.
No. How old are you?
11.
11? Okay.
What position do you play?
Wide receiver, running back, linebacker, and that's it.
And you're ref too, right?
And cornerback or quarterback?
Corner.
Corner. Toughest position in football, I think.
And do you play in a league that's weight regulated or age regulated? How's it work? Do they have the people have to weigh in the back?
Yeah, Claymont's weight.
Age and sometimes weight.
Age and weight, yeah.
Okay. And
I think that's a good one too.
So you have 3 choices of which high schools you can go to in the Brandywine School District. Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to Concord.
Going to Concord? They do win a few, don't they?
Coach K, we love him. He's a great coach.
Absolutely.
I don't think you'll get Coach K. I think you might get Coach K.
Coach K will be there. He'll still be there. Coach K will be there till the end.
Yes.
Till the end. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just, what are you guys thinking about and ready for the fitness festival?
Which event are you looking forward to, Brianne?
Well, event. Well, I'm looking forward to a lot of fun events, like, because I'm all about fun most of the time. Like, yeah, all about just fun.
What grade are you in, Brianne?
Fourth.
Fourth?
Matt, do they know who's coming?
Yeah, we went over. We talked about it a little bit. We've just gotten out the flyers. We waited till after spring break to make it more, relevant as is. I mean, we've been out for a week and then just came back this week. So all the flyers, the posters have been hung.
And the event's the 20th?
And the 20th, April 20th, yeah.
And they have to be members of the elementary school, or can anybody come?
We're inviting the whole community.
Yeah, through doing this, I contacted Brandywine YMCA. Brandywine YMCA loved it, and they were organizing a Healthy Kids Day as well. With the amount of kids that go to the, Brandywine School District that go to the YMCA, they kind of asked if they could kind of partner with us. So now they're bringing their Healthy Kids Day to Mount Pleasant as well. So we've got the Fitness Festival, Healthy Kids Day, and it's just going to be a big program with lots of fun.
What's your
Are any
thoughts
of
on
you,
using?
are any of your friends coming from other schools to participate that you know of?
Yeah, maybe some of them.
Cool. I'm sorry, Joe.
I always wondered what your thoughts were, and I have always thought about, how do you bring in some of the outside organizations like the Zumbas, the dance? Is there a way to use them in the schools?
There is, and that's probably been one of the best things that when I started this whole idea and I approached Joyce with it, meeting all these people from all over the state, all these different organizations and programs, to see people that are also passionate about what we do and about kids and athletics and fitness and obesity, all those things that we're trying to make Delaware like the healthiest state around. And through meeting them and talking to them and seeing their passion, they've offered things. They've offered to come in and teach. I've got an excellent guy that teaches USA Rugby that wants to do rookie rugby for the kids. And meeting him, he says, oh, I want to come out to your school and teach the kids rugby.
Who was that, by the way?
Bob Weir.
Bob Weir.
Yeah.
He's the head coach of the University of Delaware rugby team.
Absolutely. And like I said earlier, we had this First Tee Delaware, this Charma Bell, who's amazing. And as soon as I approached her, she was 100% on board and said, let's do it, let's go with it. So.
And Mount Pleasant has done some other innovative things in terms of several years ago when we were a K-3 school, we had an enrichment cluster program where we would stop everything every Wednesday for the last 40 minutes of the day, and we would do something called enrichment clusters. Well, and we would integrate the kids from all over the school, and they learned how to play rugby. They learned how, and you mentioned about the martial arts. We had somebody from the American Karate Studio come, and they did a presentation and got the kids involved in karate and those kind of things. So we incorporated, and they did science experiments and a lot of different things, but we tried to incorporate sports with that as well, and we just got parents, people from the community who would come in and sign on, and it was a wonderful experience for us.
It's been the most rewarding thing of all the planning that I've done.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was wondering, because I know that my daughter's kindergarten class right now, they bring in, I think it's called soccer shots, but they get to play once every Tuesday, and they go out for a half hour and they play soccer together, so it gets them out and it gets them learning new things.
Absolutely.
Well, we got less than a minute left. I want to tell you kids one thing. If your parents or your teachers, if they try to talk you into doing something and you say, I don't like it, I don't want to do it, try it. Because my parents taught me into two things that I did not want to do. One of them became my life, and the other I continue to this day to love, and I never would have tried it if it wasn't for them forcing me. So if your parents or your teachers say, why don't you try this, try it.
It's not so bad usually. They would never do anything that they thought would hurt you.
Nope.
That's where we started. And the same thing with sports. There's a right way to stay out of my office. You don't know this, but Dr. Strait and I are both sports doctors. The best way to stay out of our office is to not do too much, but do something. We're going to go to a break and come back right after this.
I know they never make me play with these guys, but why do they make me train like them?
Training hard is important, and for professional athletes, it's their job. But kids aren't professionals and shouldn't train at that level. Keep kids safe on the playing field and out of the operating room. Become an advocate for sports safety. Visit StopSportsInjuries.org.
Hi, we're back on Youth in Sports, and we're talking to the Mount Pleasant Elementary with their Physical Fitness Festival. I said it. And
for fun.
And for fun.
And frolic.
And it's free.
And it's free.
And it's not only included, it's in the Brandywine School District, too. They're welcome to come. And other organizations you've allowed, which
Absolutely.
I think is great.
YMCA and other folks.
Boys and girls.
And it's April 20th?
April 20th,
What
12
time
o'clock to 3 o'clock at Mount Pleasant Elementary. We're going to use the
Mount
fields,
Pleasant
the blacktop,
You got a
gymnasium.
nice field in the back there.
Yeah, we do.
Football field.
Rain date?
We don't have one.
Okay.
After
It's
all
not
these
going to
years-
rain. It's not going to happen. I'm
After
telling
years
you.
of doing field day, that's the hardest thing to do when you have a rain date and getting all those volunteers to come back and do things. So
Can't do it.
keep your fingers crossed. We'll pray for this.
But I think that this is a great thing because you're never too young to start on the right road on physical fitness. And Dr. Straight's bringing up a good point. He wants to talk about, because it's very, and I lost 50 pounds, Mike knows, like 5 years ago. Now, of course, I can't fit in any of those clothes that I bought. But Joe is on that road. He lost 40, 50 pounds. I never even noticed he needed to. But the fact is, it's an important thing to go along with physical fitness, drinking water, exercising, and eating correctly. Do you do anything towards that?
I've been principal of Mount Pleasant Elementary for 10 years, and I've seen a transformation over that time through our the Brandywine School District Food Service Department. They have removed a lot of the sugary foods, you know, the cookies, the ice cream
Now, they
that
got
kids
a lot
used to buy
in
at
New York, I think it was, they got a lot of bad press for saying that the man wants me to do this and that, and they were all over. The parents were all like, "You can't do that. You can't." I think it's a great idea.
You have to really look at what the obesity statistics are, and it really is out of control.
Well, let's
kids are
ask the
spending
kids.
too much time in front of the TV.
The diets that you have now in the school, I know that maybe there's not the fun stuff, but there's good food, and the people, your grown-ups, your parents, your teachers, are trying to look out for you. How do you feel about that? Would you really want a cheeseburger, or are you okay with the food they're giving you?
I'm okay with the food they give us.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
And are you can? Is that a way of life for you? You know you're exercising.
Exactly it.
You look good. You feel good. You're going to continue on that?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Miles?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
You said your favorite food is what?
Chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich.
Well, chicken's good. Chicken's good.
I understand that. And on your birthday, what's your favorite? What do you want on the table? Cake? What kind of cake?
Ice cream cake. Ice cream cake.
Red velvet.
Red velvet.
Red velvet. Good choice, Miles. Good choice.
Chips or no chips?
No chips.
No
With
chips.
Ice cream.
Huh?
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
What's your
yeah.
favorite flavor?
Vanilla.
Well, if you're going to have red velvet cake, you got to have vanilla ice cream. What about you, hon?
Well, I'm good with the food that they give me.
What would you, like everybody, I think one of the things about diet, and Joe can chip in with this, if you stay strict on a thing, I know people that haven't eaten carbs for 5 years.
They don't know what that is.
And I don't think that's a good thing. Can you cheat once in a while and have a favorite food? Like Miles is going to have ice cream for his birthday. If you were going to cheat and have a favorite food, what would it be?
She's not cheating. She's having a favorite food.
Yeah, she's having a favorite food.
Everything in moderation.
In moderation, right.
And that is the truth.
And that's good.
Pudding, no pudding. You like pudding? What's your favorite dessert?
I like cheesecake.
Ooh.
With or without topping?
With top.
With topping? With or without chocolate chips inside?
I never had that before.
There you go.
No, I don't like it either. I like the cheesecake, though. What about you?
Yes, I'm fine with the food that my parents give me.
Because you like vegetables, right?
Yes.
Although the two vegetables you pointed out are really starchy, corn and lima beans. So you want to get into broccoli
Both
and...
excellent still.
Pardon?
Both good. Very.
They're good,
keep
but
eating
yeah, but they're
keep
starchy.
enjoying it. Well, I think that you point out something. If you start,
Nobody said
start people
pizza.
young.
I can't believe no one said pizza.
I do like pizza.
But I think this is a good point.
That's
This points
un-American.
out that if you take that out of the schools early, that you don't get used to eating
Right,
the same
exactly.
mindset
Mindset starting to change.
Exactly.
Because I'll be honest, we ate pizza in
Incorporating
my
more,
household once or twice a week. It was a common thing. My father worked, my mother did not.
Well, it's easy. You know,
It
it's
was
easy.
cheap at the time. I remember when one of the companies out there had a $5 pizza, and that's what you ate. And you got used to it. And eating it 2 and 3 times a week, that's the issue. Having it once every 2 weeks is not a big problem.
Well, you know, in today's world where everybody's concerned about their weight and about exercise and stuff, I still see Wendy's, McDonald's, and the advertising of Burger King with the 3-decker. Why would they advertise that?
When you go to McDonald's, what do you order?
I usually order like a McChicken and
Good
a
for
small
you.
fry.
Yeah, that's a good.
Small fries.
Yeah.
Are they not the best French fries?
No.
You don't like?
No.
You like?
Yeah,
who has the best French fries?
Burger King.
Yeah, Burger King. I have to agree on that, Burger King.
Ew.
We're in trouble.
All right, so we went to Miles. We went to McDonald's. What are you going to order?
I'm going to order a chicken sandwich.
I usually don't go to McDonald's.
Good for you,
Well, that's a
Miles.
good answer. That's what I was
Do you
gonna
go to
ask.
any
Who goes
fast
to
foods?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A?
Oh, I like
Chick-fil-A's the
Chick-fil-A.
best, too.
The milkshakes at Chick-fil-A are outstanding. But they're not open on
We should
Sunday.
hear what you eat.
Healthy stuff.
What about you, hon?
I'll say McDonald's.
And what would you have?
I don't really get cheeseburgers. I don't like them a lot. I get either a 6-piece nugget or a McChicken with fries.
That's what my grandkids like, the nuggets.
Now, what's your favorite sauce for the nuggets?
Sweet and sour.
Yeah,
and
sweet and
barbecue.
sour and barbecue, right? What about you? Football player?
I'll go to Wendy's.
All right.
Wendy's good. Wendy's good. They have
And
good
what will
salads.
what will you get at Wendy's?
A chicken sandwich with fries.
With fries?
Now it's funny, everybody likes chicken. And chicken's good.
Good.
Yeah, chicken's good.
Does anybody eat salads? With
We have
lots
them
of
at our
vegetables?
school.
All right.
There's
There's always an option.
always veggies
Always an
at
option at
our
lunchtime.
With balsamic vinegar dressing?
Caesar.
I don't like balsamic vinegar dressing either.
Well, the point is that combining both of these is very important, and I think that it sounds like the changes in the school system is actually helping the kids way more than what it was like for us.
I went through Brandywine School District, and the menu's very different than it was, you know.
Yeah, my wife went to Brandywine School. We talk about that. But you know, one of the things that strikes me as strange, you talk about a different era, okay? It used to be that your parents controlled what you ate and were responsible for what you did, physical exercise and this and that. And now, because of the fact that parents are so involved in their own schedules and trying to be a good parent, it seems like the schools and the government has come in and said, well, wait a minute, we got to do this and this and this. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I always look at it like things that you can control.
Well, yeah, when
and
they
the
got two
things that
people
you
like
can't.
you, it's
Yeah.
a good thing. But there's...
You want it on both sides, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you
It's
want a
partial.
balance.
I
Yeah.
totally understand.
Yep.
Now, I think it's always a good thing when you look at the science and you try to adapt the science to the real world, and that's one of the issues that we're trying to do right now. Obesity is an epidemic, and it begins when kids are young, and it begins because they're bored and they don't burn enough calories. And if you've looked at young people in the past, they had huge diets of a lot of foods, and most of us didn't gain weight until we got into our college years when we weren't exercising nearly as much, but we were in high school. You couldn't eat enough calories. You didn't gain any weight because you were burning the stuff off. This new generation, you guys have a lot of TV time that we didn't have. We wouldn't come in until after dark.
Right.
It's not quite as safe as it used to be. Now you've been taught all those things. Stay away from strangers. Be careful around things. Not fun, but it's necessary for us to move forward with those things. So how many miles have you walked so far?
On Walking Wednesday? Well, miles. Well, me and my friends, we walked 2 laps of the track at our school.
Okay, and what's your total? Have you walked to the McDonald's up the street yet? I mean, as far as distance?
Today was
Yesterday was our first day. For the spring.
For the spring.
Okay, good.
We had a fall session and a spring session.
What's your goal? Where do you want to walk to?
I just want to walk a lot because walking's healthy, so I just want to walk a lot.
Yeah, but are you going to try to, make believe you're going to be walking to Dover? Where would you like to walk to?
Whoa.
Yeah, probably Dover. Like
Dover?
As far as
About
the
50
river.
miles? Okay.
Yeah.
Miles?
Anybody a runner?
That's right. You're going to go to
I
the
like
beach.
to run.
You guys are runners? I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
are you distance runners? Do you like to run a distance? I mean,
not-
Ma, you look like you're fast. You
I
want
don't
to
like
run
to
a little bit.
I just like to.
You like to
breathe.
run fast, one person. But what about you? Do you have any kind of program where they run?
We do. We incorporate that. Again, going back to that fitness gram, we do our pacer test, which is doing your cardiovascular endurance. We start at one line, go to the other, and they can basically do it on their. If they want to stop, they can stop. If they want to keep going, they can keep going. And we keep them going and moving and moving.
They said suicide. They
No,
were
we don't
doing
do
suicide.
They said that earlier before we went on air, that they
no
love
way.
suicide.
No, but it's actually really good, and that's where I see that improvement that we talked
We're
about
talking
earlier.
about running, for those of you who don't know what suicides are, it's running from one line to another, not the other kind of suicide. Okay? No, I know, but
running
they're
suicides,
running,
like
they're running
basketball
back
players.
and forth, and until your coaches make you do that at the end of practice, changing directions.
I got
Yes.
a question for Matt. Last thing I was thinking was, what could you use that would make your job easier, maybe able to help more kids? What
A stack of
do you
50s.
need? Is it just funding money? Or is
Yeah,
it-
unfortunately, that's the answer. I mean, if I had more things, I would love to have a fitness, like we talked about, a fitness thing that I could come to after school, and I'm there most days. Joyce will know. I'm 6:30, and that's a given day where I'm doing things in my office, but I would love to be in a fitness center with these kids and be able to.
Treadmills.
I mean,
stationary
just be able to
Just so
have
you know, the problem is anybody under 5'2", the equipment isn't made for. I've done, and I've had that issue with middle schools and trying to get the right equipment and
What kind
helping
of
them
equipment are
to
you talking
design.
about?
Treadmills, ellipticals,
Ellipticals, those types of things.
And
Plus
just to give them another
things that move.
after school something that they could come in away from that PE, away from the recess, and I'm sure there'll be interest in it and
open it to the community.
And it sounds like time. That was the other thing I picked up.
And
Yeah.
space. Our school is full. We have 814
I've got
students.
double classes every day.
And there's 2 classes going on simultaneously in the gym.
How many in a class?
We have about 20.
At anywhere from 20 to 24, 25.
2 PE teachers or just yourself?
2 PE teachers, all at the same time though. So we're talking 48 kids to 55 sometimes, where there's other inclusion classes, and it's a ton of kids, and especially get up to our 4th and 5th graders. It's big bodies moving around and not such a big gym. So.
What would you like to see the government do? 30 seconds. What would you like to see them do to help you?
Oh man, it's a long list.
Provide more resources?
Provide more resources. That it goes back to that funding and financially, and I think it opens up more doors. And I think we talked about earlier. I'm passionate about what I do, and I would love to put that passion into more things that I could get these kids after school and incorporating.
Well, I think you're doing a great job, and our hats are off to you if we had a hat.
Thank you.
And the fact is that it's great that you work with a principal that agrees with you. A lot of times I'm sure that's not the case, and the fact that you're both on the same page makes it great for the kids.
The Fitness Festival is on April 20th.
Saturday.
From noon to 3.
Yep.
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine.
35 different types of activities to see if you can find what you would like to do with your exercise time. Is that fair?
You got it.
And after April 15th, don't mention the word suicide. Joey, you want to finish up? 10
Well, I just
seconds?
thank you guys very much, and I mean it's very good for what you guys are doing for the kids out there. So we'll see you at the festival.
That'll be great. Love to have you.
Join us on Youth in Sports on the web, www.youthinsports.com.
What does opportunity mean to you? At Wilmington University, it means finding your relevance in the job market. That's why we offer career-oriented degree programs that meet employment needs in emerging fields. Dedicated professors bring their real-world experience into the classroom so you'll graduate with the tools you need to succeed on the job. It's your degree. Make it relevant to your career. Personalized education, affordable tuition, that's the difference at Wilmington University.
This show was sponsored by ATI, the company taking physical therapy to a higher level throughout the country. First State Orthopedics, where Youth in Sports hosts Drs. Straight and Axe are members of the team taking care of Delaware with a commitment to excellence. And President Jack Barcelona and his Wilmington University College of Technology, where each semester this student-run program is produced, directed, edited, and distributed under the guidance of the TV production faculty. Each guest receives a copy of the show, and all shows are available on the web at youthinsports.com.